Good morning students. Today our topic is types of thermometers. So thermometer is a tool by which we can measure the temperature. On the basis of the type of liquid filled in the thermometer, those are divided into two types: mercury thermometer and alcohol thermometer. Mercury thermometer. It works on the principle of thermal expansion of liquids. Most probably we are using the mercury thermometers because it has high coefficient of expansion, and by using this we can measure the very low temperature as well as very high temperature. It is the only metal that is in liquid form at room temperature. It is very shiny liquid and it does not stick to the walls of the capillary tube. Disadvantages are: mercury is very poisonous and it is very expensive, and we cannot measure the very low temperature that is less than minus 39 degrees, and it is very difficult to dispose if thermometer breaks. Alcohol thermometer. So advantages are: it is very cheaper, easily available and safe to use, and we can measure very low temperature up to minus 115 degrees. Disadvantages: alcohol has a low boiling point, that means 78. After 78 degrees we cannot measure the high temperature, and it does not react quickly to the change in the temperature. These mercury thermometers are divided into two types: clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometers are used by the doctors to measure the human body temperature. In this thermometer, mainly we observe the kink, which prevents the fall of the mercury and which is not present in the laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer has the readings that is from 35 degrees Celsius to 41 degrees Celsius. So what are the precautions we must take before using the clinical thermometer? We should wash it with antiseptic lotion, and we must give some jugs. Then we must place under the tongue. Let it be for 1 or 2 minutes. Then the temperature increases, that means mercury level increases, and it settles at one point. That one we can consider as the temperature of that person. Here we can observe the body temperature of that boy, that is 37 degrees Celsius and 0.4 degrees Celsius, means 37.4 degrees Celsius. With this clinical thermometer, we should not measure the temperature of any hot objects because it may break. Second one is laboratory thermometer. So take two beakers, fill with hot water and cold water respectively. Now take the thermometer, note down that reading. Place the thermometer in hot water. Now we can observe the level of mercury that changes, means it's slowly increasing. Now take out that and dip in the cold water. Observe the change in the mercury level and note down the readings. So we observe that the level of mercury rises when we dip in the hot water. And in the case of cold water, we observe that level of mercury decreases, comes down from previous level. So from this activity, we learn that reading of thermometer indicates the temperature at which the mercury reaches a constant level. Laboratory thermometers ranges from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Means we can measure the very low temperature and very high temperature with laboratory thermometer. Mainly it is used in laboratories to measure the freezing points and boiling points of substances. Digital thermometer. So how to use digital thermometer? This is a digital thermometer. We must press on that button. Then it shows some reading. To measure the body temperature, we must keep that bulb under the tongue or under the arm. But for a demonstration purpose, I held with fingers. Here we can observe that Fahrenheit, the reading is blinking. That means it's measuring the body temperature. When it gets the body temperature, the blinking will be stopped and it gives the sound. It makes the sound. So still it is blinking. That means it is analyzing the body temperature. Wait for some time to get the correct or accurate results. The reading is stable here. That means the body temperature of that person is 93.1 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is very easy to measure the body temperature by using the digital thermometer. So in these corona days, we are observing that forehead thermometer, which measure the body temperature within seconds. Hold the thermometer near forehead, then press start. Then we get the body temperature within seconds. Six, maximum and minimum thermometer. By using this, we can measure the maximum and minimum temperatures of the day of particular place. Suppose we want to find out the maximum and minimum temperatures in a day at our place, we have to go on taking thermometer readings for the whole day. Then only we get the maximum and minimum temperatures of the day. The scientist 6 designed a thermometer to get the maximum and minimum temperatures of a day easily without any difficulty of taking the readings whole day long. Hence, it's named after him. Description. This is the 6 maximum and minimum thermometer. It contains A. cylindrical bulb and B. spherical bulb, which connected by a narrow tube and which has mercury in its lower part, Mn. Limb that is above M and another limb that is above N are filled with alcohol, and the space contains alcohol vapor. The space B contains alcohol vapor. The limbs M is calibrated in degrees, either in Fahrenheit scale or Celsius scale, from top to the bottom, and another limb N has reading in opposite manner. Here we can observe that I1 and I are arranged just above the surface of the mercury on the limbs M and N, which consist of springs. These springs move under the pressure of mercury. Working procedure. If the temperature in the air increases, the alcohol contracts in the limb B, then the mercury level increases. Then I1 also increases. We can note down that reading. Level of I is undisturbed. If the temperature falls, then the alcohol in the limb A contracts, then the mercury level increases. That means if the temperature increases, the level of I1 increases. We can take the higher reading for the maximum temperature of the day. If is there any fall in the temperature, the I increases. We can note down the lower reading of I to get the minimum temperature of the day. We can set the readings of I and I1 to the normal state by using the magnet to take the fresh readings.